Alright, so sorry about that. Recording space, again.
Yeah.
Now anyways, as I was saying, if I remember, I was talking about the negatives. The inconsistency with that, the fact that things need to be trimmed down a little bit. Oh yes, the fact that we were tired of seeing Turing get beat up, yes. Yes, so there is hope for that one. If they're gonna make him train and then get better, there is hope for it. So we'll just have to see where it goes. As I said, I don't need to see him get him doing a 50-50 fight even. I just want to see him do something. I mean, I'm kind of tired of watching Turing get beat up. I want to see something happen. And this isn't even a hand-to-hand combat fight. It doesn't need to be, and I'm kind of hoping they don't go for that too much in the next episode.
Yeah, I want like a fire on ice thing.
Yeah, also because Firewhip shouldn't really have hand-to-hand combat skills because we never seen him train or anything. So it might feel kind of weird if he's all of a sudden a kung fu expert.
I mean, honestly, it would seem like Turing should be taking him down in that aspect if he's done training in that kind of.
So I hope that we get more of a powers battle, and I hope that he does something. Hopefully. Now, as I said, that's mostly the negatives for me. There's things they need to improve on, things they just need to work on making better. Now, do you got anything you want to add? Like any negatives or pluses you'd like to point out that you know of, or any highlights or anything like that?
Well, I mean, we already talked about the dragging on and the inconsistency with the last episode. I don't think I got any more cons.
Alright, well, in that case, I'm gonna go ahead and give your rating, and then I'm gonna give mine. So, go ahead and decide what you give for your website.
For sure, this is kind of a tough one. Because I don't want to. What I don't want to do here is I don't want to go so low that I'm gonna give everybody basically who's working on it like, okay, we're just gonna stop working on it again because it got really bad rating.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with this. Is like every time I feel like I give it a review, I cringe because I'm tired of them feeling pressured about what the reviews get. And then we don't see the show for a long time.
I mean, you might not like to see a bad review as a studio because you don't want to see a bad review for your show, but at the same time, if you do, take from it what is the errors of your show and fix it. That's what you need to do with it.
Yeah.
It's a bad rating and it's not good, but, I mean, from a bad time, you're only going to learn what you need to fix from having a bad experience with it. So, you kind of need it, and this, as I said, you may not like getting a bad rating for an episode, but you just need to use that as an example of what you need to fix in the next ones, in upcoming episodes, seasons, and so on. Now, as for rating, let's see. Stuck between a number of ranks. Okay, let me think back on positives and negatives. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, man. Oh, it's just, okay. I'm stuck between a certain number range, and I'm just trying to decide what I think works with the positive and negatives. Okay, yeah, stuck between two numbers. I hate getting stuck like this. I was stuck with like this in one of my other reviews for one of these.
You know, if you're tired of waiting on Spiner, then just scroll down and see his score.
Don't do that. Just wait. Just a sec. I'm fixing to have it. Okay, well, just going from what I know is in it, and, I mean, what we've got, I think I'm gonna have to go with, I'll go with, just for the sake of not going below this number, just to keep them up at the whole goal, I'm gonna go for a 6.0. Okay.
Well, that's spot on with exactly my score. I was gonna give it a 6, exactly a 6.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I don't want to go mediocre on it, but I can't give it good, and I feel like it's just right above that. With the
I can't give it good, even though there were some things I liked about this, because I'm thinking in terms of numbers. If I'm going, I'm thinking of a 7 out of 10, not by the good words or anything like that, but as in a 7 out of 10. I can't say I give this episode 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more along 6, and honestly, I'd probably even go 5 if I was just thinking in numbers for half. But if we're going by the word at least somewhat, then I gotta say this episode was okay. I mean, it had its good aspects, it had its bad aspects, and I also, for the big inconsistency I have for Alone, it really hits hard with me because it's too much to look past. It's too big of an error to be able to just ignore.
Just a little something off my number. Whoever was watching this, you probably were like in really suspense as you were waiting for me to come up with that number.
Well, if you're the showrunners or the actors or anybody, you're also probably going, oh, ouch, at this point. But please don't. Like, seriously, just learn from it. I mean, you got potential here. There is so much potential for this show.
And with this next episode, you got potential. You just need to use it.
And as I said, Dino and Nature, they had their own rough things. They had their own problems. So, this doesn't break a show, okay?
I mean, the first season is always kind of a learning season.
It is, yeah. That's where you learn what works and what doesn't.
I mean, that's kind of what's going on with the Man of Steel and Dark Knight series. Even though they've been still good, I think that they are learning from them still.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a first-time season thing in that case, too.
I feel like the only show this doesn't apply to is Spin Blast. Because it feels like it's following a storyline, and it's just following that storyline.
I'm saying that there's not really any way for that to happen with it.
But Downshires was a learning season. Fantasy now, it has been a learning season. Batman has been a learning season. Man of Steel's been a learning season.
Dragon's Domain, I mean, everything really has been.
Dragon's Domain even had its learning season because the director had to go change it the last several episodes to make them better.
If he hadn't, this would have been a major learning season.
Exactly. And there would have been a lot of bad... I mean, seriously, Dragon's Domain almost would have had some really, really bad problems, like on Ice Now's level of really bad problems. So, you just gotta fix them. You can make it better. And if there's potential for your show, if it's just a show you're watching and you're like, none of this works and you're not interested in it at all, that's one thing. But this show has potential and I like the show. So obviously something is making me like the show.
Yeah, I like the characters and stuff. I just want them to do better with how the show runs.
Mm-hmm. They just need to pay, I think, Icehound's biggest problem is they just need to pay more attention to the they need to make sure they're fleshing everything out correctly. Like, if you're going to do a battle with fire, you got to make sure it works. You can't just, okay, I want them to fight, so I'm going to make it happen. It's got to make sense in the story. It's got to work.
Yeah, there needs to be basically a reason why Fireweb is doing it at this time, kind of why he's doing it now.
Because, like, for example, if you're thinking of a showdown between Fireweb and Ice Now, not to interrupt you, but if you're thinking about of a battle between Fireweb and Ice Now, okay, you're thinking, what are you thinking? You're thinking, I want this to be intense, and if I want this to be intense, then what's going to make it intense? Well, we know why he's doing it, because we have an idea of why he's doing it, because of this. We got this, the fact that we know they were both originally friends, and then we know that they're gonna fight for the first time, and we never seen them fight before. You got, like, all those factors could make it exciting. But if you haven't seen, you don't know why he's doing it, you saw Ice Town get beat up on the very last episode, and you don't see him do anything in this episode to fight back against Fireweb at all, basically, or anything that works. You're kind of losing all the things. And if it goes on too long, it just loses the effect after a time.
Exactly what I was saying.
So, I mean, seriously, that even applies for Batman. I mean, if you watch Bane beat up Batman for like 10 minutes...
You would get tired of it. I mean, you see Lex Luthor beat up Superman for 10 minutes, you get tired of it.
I'm all for long battles, but if you're going to make a long battle, also you need to make sure there's something else added to it. You can't just watch the hero get beat up for 10 minutes nonstop with nothing happening else.
Because you're going to get to that point of yawn and look at your watch. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's going to get boring. And some people will possibly even get to the point where they can start skipping through it with their remote. Mm-hmm. So, you don't want that.
As I said, the main problem for me is I almost laughed because it was going on too long, and that's not a good sign. I shouldn't be laughing at the end.
Exactly. I mean, with a battle that was like this, you shouldn't be laughing. I mean, that'd be the same as me laughing with a battle where either when Batman was getting beat up by Bane or Vertex being up Splink.
So, I don't want to go on too long about this. I mean, I already gave my score, and I feel like this is where it should probably end. Yeah. So, overall, I just want to throw out a couple of notes there. Just wanted to point out the fact that please don't just give up. Please don't. I mean, for the sake of all of us who actually like the show, none of us want that, okay? The answer is not canceling it.
Exactly, and perhaps taking long delays is causing errors.
I do think that, yes.
Keeping it consistent and coming on might help. If you keep the episodes going, and maybe you'll begin to gradually get to the better points. If you stop it again, wait a couple of months, and then do another episode, it might end up better.
I think that's what was the biggest problem with the inconsistency of this episode, is because it's been too long since the last one happened that you almost didn't really remember fully what happened in the last one, and you just knew this was the same day, but if you weren't paying attention, you could just go right along and it wouldn't be any big deal. But if this episode came on right after and you realized how close this episode was to the last one, it would be obvious. I don't think they would have made the same mistake of making it too similar. So, yes, I think the delays are hurting the show. They need to stop. They need to drop the delays. So, Overall, yeah, I'm gonna go with a 6 for this one. I mean, it didn't. Overall, I'd still say it's an improvement for a not too great episode of Ice Down because they've gotten the show got a 4 with me once and a 5. So if it got a 6 for a not too great episode, that's still an improvement.
And hey, you got head drawings for me in 1 week.
Yeah.
So just consider that good.
I mean, every director has their mistakes. I mean, every director has things that whether or not fans notice it, every director has something either they didn't like about their show or they need to learn from because they think they need to learn from it or critics think they need to learn from it or whatever reason. It's a learning, doing a show's a learning process. So, as I said, the show's got potential. It's still good. I like it. I don't care if every episode from here on got 6. I would still like the show. So, I'm going to keep watching it. I'm going to keep reviewing it. And I'm not going to give up on it until they make this a better show, because I know it can get there. It will. Yeah. By season 2, season 3, whatever season it is, I will watch this show until it gets better. I will watch this show until I give it 9s. So, we'll just see what happens. The next episode has potential. Who knows? Maybe that will be that 9 one. Maybe that will be the 8 one for me, or the 9 one. Who knows? It looks good. We'll see if they fix it. So, yeah. Overall, that's the review. That's my review, the FFN review for Ice Now Season 1, Episode 6, The Ice Down.
Yeah.
And
that's my review over at AWMN as well.
Yep. So, thanks for watching, guys. We were on it for a while, but there was a lot to talk about with the return of the show. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Come back next week to see our reviews for Ice Down once again. And keep checking back with us for more of reviews on the current series of waves of shows that are going right now. So, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
See you later.